poetry. If you haven't heard what spoken word poetry is all about, how I would define it is that it's poetry that is meant for the stage. Because there are poems that are meant to be read, and there are poems that are meant to be read. So, so that's that. So I'll introduce myself with this poem, and I hope you guys can relate. This poem is called Words. You say I'm not Melayu like you. I am Melayu baru. Poyo elitist Malay like a certain Mahathir. I speak too much English, konon yung putih, because I'm British. And then I use too many adjectives and verbs, ones you never even read before or even heard, and that I have a way with words. You say I have a way with words. See, what I think is that words have a way of making themselves heard, of telling people what they are, what they really mean, and what their direction is. So if you want to come up to me and tell me that I have a way with words, be prepared. Because I'm going to say I heard you, but I'm not heard with your words. Because I'm not the one who don't know who I am, what I live for, or what I want to do with my life. Because you see, I know who I am, I know what I live for, and I know what I want to do with my life. And that is just probably too many words for you to understand. And you just couldn't comprehend why a Melayu like me, like you, can seem so at hand, speaking with a tongue that he wasn't even born with, freely in a fluently expressive way that he was not even supposed to be seen with, or heard with, or think with, as if he's forgotten the national language and the national constitution nationally imposed the nation on what their nationals should nationally be conversing with. I mean, do I really have to kiss and junjong the grace? Because you see, the thing is, you seem smart and well-educated, a beneficiary of the education system that the nation established and implemented. Reading and remembering and following and memorizing and regurgitating everything that you read and remembered and followed and memorized in exams at public schools, boarding schools, premier schools, they sterilized, and then in the universities, colleges, college universities, or government and corporate sponsorships over here and overseas, you may very well one day grow to be a minister because you've already memorized the official JPA song. But let me tell you this, you're wrong. But don't worry, I'm not blaming you. Don't be defensive, I'm not accusing you. Don't be sarcastic, I'm not patronizing you. I'm just saying that I know it's not you, it's not your fault. No, it's not. It's the education system. It's the system that educated you, not yourself. It's the system that did not educate you to educate yourself. So you wouldn't have known, because you wouldn't have known how. And now you, me, we, are part of that system. You are the very people that reach the cosmos, the URTVs, the Pancha Indras. You are the very people that could not even commentate a sports match decently in Bahasa. You were the ones who translated duck to itik in movie cinemas. And back in 2010, in the D80 movie starring Liam Neeson and Bradley Cooper, instead of tank to kereta kebal, it was tank to tanki. And you were the ones who translated melody to melody when there's such a word as irama, or lyrics to lyric when there's such a word as sinikata. And you were the ones who coined the term bahasa, jiwa, bangsa. And now you want to call me a traitor for standing here speaking in English when you were the ones who allowed your souls, our souls, to be diluted with borrowed syllables that was not even reflected on and regulated, losing context of what it was supposed to translate and convey, losing the message and the meaning somewhere along the way, and you still have the guts to come up to me and say that I have a way with words. See, there's only one way with words. It's how they tell you what they are, what they really mean, and what their direction is. So me, I know who I am, what I live for, and what I want to do with my life. A Melayu who can think in English and yet articulate himself in Malay. A Melayu who can think in Malay and yet express himself in English. A Melayu who will not use moderation as an excuse and will instead put Malay and his Malayness to better use, because he realizes that his soul is his to lose, if otherwise. So now let me ask you this. What about you? Bagaimana pula dengan kamu? Thank you. That's an old poem. It has long legs. I used it to win a slam back in 2010. And I've used it very often to introduce myself, especially in crowds where I've never performed to before. So if you disagree with the piece, the most important thing about spoken word poetry is that as you experience it, and which has to be live, as you experience it and after you experience it, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do you feel about it? If you feel nothing about it, then it depends on a lot of things, but the point here is that the purpose of us writing or doing spoken word poetry is to engage you throughout that 3 to 4 minutes of the poem live. You know, a lot of things are racing through your heads, right? And you try to process it. And you get what you're feeling, you understand it. It's very evocative, but you can't quite put the words out yet. And that's the whole point. Because voice is a very, very important thing. And the word is alive, and what we fail to do in this country, if not the world, is to listen. So I've been told that I have 8 minutes, which means 60 poems. So yes, I'm a marathon runner, my poem is quite long. So my next poem is my last poem. But before I do that, I would like to thank Jack for having me here. I met her at Carlson. Met you at Carlson in 2017, right? And it's very thoughtful of you to think of me. Thanks, Small Changes and Charisma for having me here. Look me up on social media. Hook up, let's hook up. If you want to work on something with regards to socializing English learning, in Englishjer, we can do something. If you want to do something about poetry, workshops, or performance, hit me up. I've been doing a lot of poetry things. Most recently, I don't know if you guys know, how many of you watch theatre here? Okay, great, that's a decent number. I co-wrote a play that was staged at EPAC. The play was called Politic. I don't know if, yeah, so I co-wrote it. So 1/3 of the play are all in poetry and prose, so all of that was for me, but the story was crafted together with me and Kyrie, who is from the list. So yes, I've had a theatre background and I'm going back to there. So if any of you have anything that you do that fits into all the things that I mentioned, just follow me on social media, Jamal Raslan across everywhere. Let's sing banana. So my last poem for the night, and I'm going to scoot off because I have another engagement, is a personal favorite. It's very relevant, and I hope you guys like it. This is called Motorcycle Diaries. You know it's fly when his hair's dyed and Brill tweaked the spike. And the only thing he ever thinks about is balik sekolah and his own motorbike. Don't bother with the fact that he's too young to get a license but still wants to ride. Fact is, he's been riding since 13 and has been running errands for his dad on the side. Youth on the slide, fallen by the wayside long ago in a black night where he didn't want to run but couldn't hide. And had to do so because getting those cigarettes for Abba was his only way to a joyride. While his father makes a woman out of his sister, makes a martyr out of his mother as he rides another chapter in his motorcycle diaries. Another chapter full of adventure and color, black jackets and brown boots and pink tights, yellow lights and red lights, all just another shade of green to his eyesight. Another shade that says he can make it right if you just don't stop. And if he goes faster, faster, he will be on top. And that life is a never-ending race and his ride was his only saving grace. But if he could run that red, then he would have run for the States or fly to the States, come home and engineering graduate. But the only office he has is a 24-hour lot. The only time he flew was when he did the Superman, and the only certificate he has is his grade 3 SPM. But all that didn't matter, because he's already got what he needs. He's got his brothers. He doesn't need to run for the streets because he doesn't need to run for the state, because he runs its streets in the dead of the night when the water yachts are fast asleep in his red EX5 and black leather jacket, no shirts, no ties, no push jackets, no need for nonsense titles and deeds, no doctorate, no PhD, no degree, no IR, no need. He's won all of them with his bringing speed. Scourge of the road, boogeyman of the late night drivers, king of the streets, king. The day he left school and embraced the cold city night beat. King the day he felt he belonged, as his brothers gave him a sticker with his helmet and put the keys to his freedom and future in his hands, so much more than the state or the school or the ustad or the ustazah ever can. Beer cans, one-night stands, because you see, they don't understand what it's like to grow up in 2-room flats, where his appreciation and understanding of the institution called family fell flat, fading away in the smoke as his father sits at home all day puffing and watching TV, and then yelling at the wife from the living room asking for more money, and then blaming her for not working hard enough to earn a living while she's hurting, her back straddling, number 4 and doing the laundry and cooking, and he's thinking, no way I will ever be king, kan? Betul tak? No way I will suffer only to become a statistic of the dasar ekonomi baru. Apa yang dasar? Apa yang baru? Kita baca surah khabar, diorang baca buku. Kita istighfar, diorang nyanyi lagu. Kita terbiar, diorang buat tak tahu. Kita bersabar, diorang tak boleh tahu. Cuma mahu rumah besar-besar dalam hutan batu berjuta-juta, beribu-ribu setiap satu. Ini bukan negara kau seorang, Ini pun negara aku. Ini negaraku. Tanah tumpahnya darahku. Rakyat hidup bersatu dan maju, dan maju, dan maju. You know he's fly when his hair's dyed in brill cream to spike. And the only thing he ever talks about is Hosias, bike races, and his own motorbike. That's all you'll ever know about him. And you'll never know his story or the pain he couldn't understand from history. All you know is that you see him everywhere, but you never look at him in the eye because he will stare at traffic lights, at junctions, on the roads at late night, chasing the brake lights into the twilight, out of sight, chuckling in delight. As another pair of 16-year-old kids hugs him tight. Another young knight, headed for one of life's exits. As he hams on, revs up, and ramps it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.